Good afternoon, everyone. Yesterday was International Mental Health Awareness Day, and I'm sure that, like me, you noticed a lot of people on social media posting about mental health, which is really great because it shows that the stigma related with these conditions is actually decreasing. Now, as a pharmacist, I'm trained by education to deal with the physical body, with people's physical problems. For example, people come to me with a headache or an infection or a wound, and I recommend what they can do to take care of the physical body. This is something that's ingrained in us from when we're young. Last week I was visiting a friend of mine. She has a 5-year-old daughter, and her daughter was standing on a stool washing her teeth. And while she was washing her teeth, she slipped and fell. She cried for a few seconds and then ran to her mom and asked for a plaster to put on the graze. And I thought, so 5 years old, and she already knows that if she gets a scratch or an injury, she needs to put a plaster on it. Because this is something that our teachers and our parents prepare us about from when we're young. But who actually prepares us on how to deal with mental injuries? These are injuries that happen a lot more often than physical injuries. Things like sadness, loneliness, fear of failure, anxiety. But in reality, nobody ever talks to us and gives us the tools to actually deal with these issues. In fact, if we try and talk about it, a lot of people would tell you, oh, come on, why are you making a fuss? Your life is so much better than those kids starving across the world. But in reality, think about it. If you go to your doctor with an inflamed appendix, is your doctor going to tell you go and walk it off? No, he's going to send you to hospital to get it checked out and, if need be, surgically removed. And this is how we need to deal with mental injuries as well. We cannot just brush them off. We need to learn how to deal with them. For example, 10 years ago, I moved to the Netherlands where I did my master degree. And when going there, I was expecting this amazing life. I set myself up for something, and when I was there, the reality was a little bit different. And I ended up feeling lonely many days. And this loneliness ended up turning into a vicious circle. I used to wait for my friends in Malta to call me, and when they didn't, I would get even more sad, even more lonely and angry. And I remember discussing this with one of my friends when she came to visit me, and she asked me, but if you're feeling so lonely, if you're feeling so bad, why didn't you just get the phone and call us? At the time, I didn't really have a reply to that question, but thinking about it now, I know the answer. The answer is that loneliness was setting up my mind to expect failure. What I was doing was, I thought that if I called my friend and she rejected me, I would feel bad. I would feel worse, and I didn't want that. So what happens? You end up putting yourself down even more. And these are issues that come up in people's lives every single day. Another issue that I notice a lot is that can affect mental health is self-esteem. To today's world, we are dominated with the media, with perfect bodies, perfect lives. And if we are not living up to those standards, our self-esteem suffers sometimes. A friend of mine who recently separated went out for her first date last week. And she was really excited. She met this guy on a dating app. She got her hair done, she chose a nice dress, and she went to meet him at a cafe in Slema. And they had a really nice date. She really enjoyed it. And she went home. The next day, he did not message or did not call. So she messaged. He read her message and he didn't reply. And she called her friend, and her friend told her, well, what do you expect? Why would a handsome guy like him call you? You have big hips, funny teeth, and you're not that smart. And now I know what you're thinking. What sort of a friend would say this to her? Now, what if I were to tell you that it wasn't her friend who said this? She was saying it to herself. And I'm sure that we've all done it. When something goes wrong, we blame ourselves. If her friend were actually talking to her, she would have told her, it's not you. It's not your problem. You're amazing. You're gorgeous. Just move on. He's not the one for you. You'll find someone else. But we don't talk to ourselves like we're talking to our best friend. When we talk to ourselves, we injure ourselves, and we injure our self-esteem even more. And, for example, if you have a physical injury, if you cut your finger whilst you're cooking, you wouldn't get the knife and stick it in and open up the cut even further. No. You'd put a plaster or go to the polyclinic and get some stitches. And this is what we have to do with our self-esteem, with our mental health. So if you find yourself finding it difficult to deal with issues, with anxiety, with fear, talk to someone who can help you deal with them, who can give you the tools, because we are not given these tools from when we are young. There are many psychologists. I'm not a psychologist, but there are many psychologists who can help. You can talk to your friend, or you can do exercises at home that can help improve your self-esteem and your self-worth. Just don't let it get so bad that you want to stay inside and sleep and not see anyone and end up falling into this vicious cycle, because it's very difficult to get yourself out of it. And maybe we need to start a discussion about actually giving education about how to deal with stress, with anxiety, with low self-esteem, because this is an issue that we're seeing every day. Our young people are putting themselves down, suicide rates are increasing, and we need to deal with these issues in a holistic way. Thanks for listening. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you have any questions or comments, or you would like to participate in discussion, please post your comments below. Have a nice day.